quite an interesting week, a week where we've seen a lot of things happening. It's a political season and it's bare knuckles. They are shooting from the hip. And apart from that, the rains in the city, make sure that you're working and driving carefully. Anyway, it's your favorite show. It's Let's Be Real. Let's see what's happening. Maria, you're back after how many days?
A month, I think.
Where have you been?
Yes. I've been trying to make changes in my life.
Yeah. So introduce yourself, then we come to Dr. C now.
I am Maria, and yes, I'm back. I'm an author, in case you did not know. I also do a kids magazine, and I'm a mom. So the changes I've been making actually are for motherhood. Yes, I've been making tough decisions to make me strong as a mom, and I'm doing quite well so far.
Let's go to the lady from Milan Fashion Week.
Yes, Dr. C here with a fresh new vibe, having learned a new skill.
Which one is this?
La Belle Figura, the art of making an impression. Straight from the fashion city, Milan Fashion Week, you know.
I need notes.
I have a lot to share, and
Yeah.
I think I have some photos. I think we need to share them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Manu?
Yeah, Manuel and Toya here. Good vibes. We thank God for the rains, because anything fertile is giving life. We thank God for the good life and the good things that we have, you know.
Yeah.
You know, the rains comes with everything nice.
It's always good when it rains.
Yeah.
And of course, this weekend was very interesting. I had a wonderful birthday with the children from Dandora. For the first time in 15 years, I went to Dandora, Dandora Love. You know, when you come from the east side,
The hip-hop city.
sometimes you go to the hip-hop city.
Yeah.
And the children of Glorious Children Home did a marvelous thing. They sang birthday songs. We donated some things. And if you have something, please take to them. Okay. They are in dire need of those things.
What categories of things?
They're young, between 5 and 15.
Okay.
They are schooling in that organization. It's like a feeder school. And the lady there, Madam Ann from Western Kenya, is doing a wonderful thing. She's called Mama by every kid in that sprawling slum, because she's really taking care of people there.
Also, the children live within the area, so it's not a school where the children live in.
Some live in with her.
Okay.
It's a whole flat. She's taken over to take care of kids
Okay.
and educate them. So it's interesting.
Nice. Very nice.
So, ladies and gentlemen, hey, the politics of the week, Sifuna. Are you Sifunated?
I am Sifuna. I think we will need wine to discuss.
Are you Sifunated?
We are Sifunized. You know, I think Sifuna is a movement, if you ask me.
Manus, you pour the wine
beyond.
for Dr. C first. Then.
Yeah, but first, let me talk about it. So with the International Women's Day coming, this particular wine, which we will be celebrating today and even next week, is the Samantha Rosé, launched specifically with a Kenyan woman in mind.
Okay.
Actually, I find it's women who drink rosés. And it's for a sophisticated palate, somebody who's drunk all the whites, the dry reds, even sweet ones. And it's very special grape from an area called Requena region of Spain. And the grape is Bhopal grape. Very, very, you cannot get it anywhere in the world. It's a Kenyan brand, Samantha's Bridal. A lot of people do not connect Samantha's Bridal with the wine. And before I talk about all these things, yes, I think I'm going to pour myself a beautiful glass of Samantha Rosé.
Can you give it to Maria to pour some?
Yes.
Oh, I pour for you.
Toya, you will serve yourself.
I'll serve myself.
I would have said something.
Okay, please go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, he'll make me another wife. Let's go.
He'll make you a second
And you know what the wine says, eh?
In wine, there
you might
is
fall
truth.
in love. You
In
might fall in
vino,
love with
You
me.
see, he might fall in love.
In vino veritas. In wine, there's truth.
In wine, there is truth.
But that one says, be careful, you might fall in love.
You see? Now if I pour and then he falls in love, I don't want to disappoint you.
Okay.
Let's get back to
So-
Sifuna.
So we take a sip.
Yeah.
I think Sifuna is a whole movement. And when we say Sifuna, he represents collectively what a lot, not all, a lot of Kenyans actually want to say and want. He's sort of, they can see themselves in him. He has been very vocal in talking about the things that Kenyans, you know, when everyone is just endorsing and endorsing things, he seemed to have been lending Kenyans an ear. So I think he's a litmus test into what we are going to be seeing and how actually ODM is going to carry itself moving forward following the death of their leader, Raila Odinga, Honorable. He was my leader, by the way. In all my voting years, I've always voted. And therefore, he also represents what is actually going on internally within the succession. Only time can tell. But if what we have seen, the optics that we have seen, are anything to go by, I think so that we are just witnessing the end of zombie following, people just following a political leader for no good reason. Well, for a good reason. I never read the Constitution. I only voted because what Raila said. What has Raila said? This is what he has said. We're going to do like, let me tell you, I would just
Baba read for you.
What, if Baba
And Raila
said
is always
something,
right.
if, by the way, if Baba said something,
Yeah.
that is where we follow. And let me tell you, it was zombie. I would let my family travel, go on holiday. I stay here until I vote. And if Baba says, whatever Baba represented is what we would actually vote for. We don't want to give him power and then he cannot execute. So if Baba endorsed you, we would just, so that is actually ending. And what we are seeing is people, so we are seeing the beginning of brands, political brands. And a brand is what you represent. And the ending of party, just patronage, for as long as you're in this particular party, you can just misbehave because you're in this party. There are people I voted for, I would have never voted for him. And I dare say, I didn't know who Sifuna was. I only voted for him because Baba said. I was wondering, who the hell is this? I almost didn't give him my vote. I wanted to give it to Polycarp. Yeah, Polycarp was one of those people on the... I only voted for him because Baba said. And I'm so happy I voted because I've been following him. His political ideology. I think we are seeing a new era of another Baba in the making, just in a different format. And if anyone thought the Gen Z movement is dead, I don't need to say anything.
I think for me, I will say because he's actually in line with the youth, the Gen Z movement, I don't think it's dead because he's actually very vocal. Also, another thing, it feels a bit of, should I say liberating to know that at least we are seeing someone who is peeking out there. There was that fear when Baba left us that, what next? Now at least we can confidently say he's actually, no one can ever walk in his shoes, but at least we have someone that we can look up to say that, oh, if we are currently saying we are sifunated, it means we've seen something. And I for one, am waiting to see what is going to happen. Like, I'm waiting to see the bigger picture. I'm waiting to see what is the next move, because so far I am seeing a lot of him bringing out something that is unique in the political world, and also for us seeing that, pointing out the things that our voice is somewhere, even if I'm not the one who is saying. Because for some time now, we have not been hearing this. So seeing that we are now sifunated, even if we are not speaking our needs. Thank you, Sifuna.
Yeah, you know, as we are, because we are having a wine here, let me speak something related to that. You know, you can put new wine in old wine skins.
Yes.
Yeah, you can do that. And for Sifuna, he has this vibrancy that we are used to when it comes to ODM. You know, people are tired of these political musical chairs, whereby every other day we just have the same faces, the same people, revolving around the same issues. Now, here comes Sifuna, vibrant, with all the energy that we knew ODM had. And you know, he still has the ODM's DJ, you know. So anywhere you go, you'll still feel the vibe that we used to enjoy, you know. And as one scribe said, a senior scribe, he told Sifuna, welcome to heaven. And the only way to heaven is through the casket. And for Sifuna, he's been through that, and he'll come out stronger. And that is what most people are feeling, the new vibe around him, and the whole political idea that he brings of freshness into this whole political space. That is why you will hear now everybody saying, I am Sifuna, sisi ndio Sifuna, because people have been yearning for that, not just the same old, same old. Sifuna brings out that new freshness, the vibrancy, and also a new fresh of breath when it comes to political discussions, you know. This is somebody who discusses matters with substance. And, you know, we are not used to that old, I won't say the old guards, but him using the old political machinery of Akina Orengo and the likes. You know, it also safeguards him within the ODM conservatives. And I think it's going to get us to a fresh page when it comes to Kenyan politics.
What I like about the discussion is that Sifuna is fresh, but either it becomes, he moves it from a moment to a movement. That's the challenge. For now, Sifuna is a moment.
Yeah.
How do you make a movement? A movement comes when that you ride the wave, and when you ride that wave to a certain level where people trust you and believe in you. And how do you come into a movement? A movement, let me tell you, Sifuna has 3 scenarios for him to become a movement. Number 1, the people he will align with. Right now, he has the support of the youth and the people. The moment he moves to the united opposition, half of the guys disappear. People are supporting Sifuna for what he stands for. The rest of the teams, there's a united opposition. The same faces, the same people. Others, we have Rigiji there who believes in Mount Kenya. We have people who believe in different aspects. And this is what I'm trying to say. If he moves into that space, then the people who support him for what he stands for, some of them will say, so you've joined them, I'm out of it. So half of the people leave. If he goes back and aligns to President Ruto, another 50% of the people say, I'm not part of you. So Sifuna has to go it alone with the young voices, only for him to ride that moment into, that wave into a movement. Before that, I hear people say Sifuna is a movement. I tell them, no, Sifuna is not yet a movement. A movement has to be defined. And it has to have the markers on the ground. And the markers are, the Gen Z support him because when they were shooting in Parliament, he's the one who came out when all the MPs ran and told them, please stop shooting. So they have their back. Then, number 2, when he sits in Parliament, he addresses the issues of people. That's why these people are with him. But remember, Kenya is a tribal outfit. And that's why united opposition, yesterday, this weekend you saw Matiang'i and the Kisses. And what Wamunyoro was saying, that how can you elect an Indian, what? A Muindi.
Yes.
You see, if you run away from your tribe and the bigotry, then many people will steal. And even the people who are singing Sifuna, Sifuna, when the voting comes, some of them will go to their tribal cocoons.
But it's kind of expected because even Sifuna himself, he knows that at the end of the day, his political clout, the denominator around it, lies within the ethnic balance. That is why the first place he decided to have the rally was at his backyard, you know. And it is important for him, first of all, to secure that. Because you can't come to a negotiating table with no backing, or nothing to negotiate with. Yes, Sifuna has the young people, but you know, the young people will always be young people.
Me, I'm a grand, wise, old Kenyan, and I can tell you, you know, you guys are reading from that old book, that old cask that we are discarding. Let me tell you, that character development Kenyans have gotten for the last couple of, let's say, 5 or 10 years, they are ready to move on. The old guards know their time is over. Yeah. Actually, they need to support these young people because the future belongs to the young people. And wherever the young people go to, I think Kenyans are ready to follow. And this is me what I would say. I would say if I was Sifuna, I would stand for presidency. And I hope, because like I agree with what you've said. If he goes this way, he's damned. If he goes this way, he's also damned. Like he has to go it alone. But this is what I would say. He needs to surround himself. I hope the Gashaguas, I hope all these other people will come below him and say, okay, this is the person we're fielding forward.
Politics.
And let me tell you, that would be the winning ticket.
Listen, Dr. C.
I have a
that
question
is,
first
that
before
is,
you continue.
Yeah.
When they're talking about Indian, are they talking about the Kisii Matiang'i?
No, they're talking about
Babu Awina.
Zahir.
Zahir. Listen, Dr. C. You leave
Zahir or Babu?
Zahir.
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 Zahir's Janda, my friend from Kitutu Chache. Listen,
Gosh, did I say
in
that?
politics, the first thing you do is to secure your base.
Babu. Huh?
In politics. And
But
there's no
Sifuna
one-
has secured his base.
There's no one among the united opposition who will have more MPs who will decide that I'll give you the presidency and you become under me. The only way for Sifuna, as I said, is to go alone with the young people.
I think he should.
But again, let's look at this
He
history.
should.
The history of young people voting. You know, that's
they
a
will.
fallacy.
Or they will vote. You know, you
Ah, this
guys,
time they
like,
will.
I don't know why you don't
This time I
understand
think
that
they
things
are
have
serious.
moved.
How many registered for votes when IBC opened that opportunity?
That's
Yeah?
how many? The numbers.
These people, they don't even have ID cards. And it's not been it's something that is new. It has been happening. Even Moi talked about it. You can't rely on the votes of young people.
But are we talking about Moi who's been in the ground for the last 20 years?
No.
This,
This is something that happens. Even the by-elections
Dr. C,
that just happen.
currently, we had the IBC opened the portal for people to register as voters. You can check. How
Is it
many
closed?
people? I can tell you can check.
Okay.
And you see how many young people have registered. You know, sometimes we talk up from utopia because we think this is the power, this is it.
And who said Sifuna is only, if when I speak to the old women in my village, Sifuna, ni sifa ya Sifuna.
Yeah.
So I don't
think
know,
at the
what are you
moment
guys
Sifuna-
talking about?
Sifuna is being talked about a
You
lot
know,
at
these
the
young
moment.
people are still eating ugali in
But
their parents'
being
houses.
talked about
So
and
it's these parents
No,
who are
being
you
feeding.
talked
see,
about
It
this
is
is
the
the point.
parents who
turning
have the
that
young
into
people.
actual votes for you. You know,
It is
I
the parents,
this is what happened to Peter
It
Kenneth.
is the
Let's be
older
honest,
people with the young people. They have no jobs for.
The young
These young
people
people are
are
dying
actually
in
convincing
Cambodia,
their
in
parents.
Russia.
No,
They are the
you know,
ones
they want to
You
voting.
know,
hide their
my
parents'
fear
ID.
for Sifuna, and I would tell him, Sifuna, my fear for you, you've done very well for yourself. But my fear for you is that the hype people might give you, and the way they gave Peter Kenneth.
Exactly.
Never.
Peter
Me,
Kenneth was never given
Kwanza
hype.
he was a
What?
spoiler. I hated him for that.
But that is the,
Peter
was-
Kenneth
he was
was never
spoiled
given
our
the
votes.
same trajectory
Actually,
that
can I be
Sifuna
honest?
is being
He
put in.
spoiled
Peter Kenneth
our
would have
votes. He
stayed
was
with
a
Gatanga
spoiler.
and continued building the road. He was good at where he was.
How can you even compare
He was
Sifuna
praised by
with-
one county and then he assumed he can be a president. It's like saying Pius Muiru would have won.
But you
I know.
That is the same-
How can you compare?
You see, that's the point.
That is the
because
same
Pius
thing
Muiru
as
had a
well.
full crusade every week, right? So he thought all these are votes. That's the difference. But Sifuna, we know he's in politics.
Now,
We know what he's saying, and we are seeing the
let's look at
problems.
Sifuna's political base, which is Nairobi. Who dominates
He's
Nairobi?
everywhere.
No,
Where?
Sifuna is based in Nairobi.
Yeah.
That
I
is where-
voted
You
for
see,
him.
for
Yeah?
you,
No. He tried to vie in his backyard in Ushago. He couldn't even get
That
votes
was
there.
then. This is now.
Yeah,
we have
exactly.
gone through the character development. We are changed people.
yes.
What are you
so
talking
don't
about?
lie to Sifuna.
Manu,
You
you know,
guys.
I think the way you're analyzing it, because all of us were not saying Sifuna is a bad person.
Yeah.
We're not saying Sifuna has no right. We are saying, Sifuna, go for it. But we are warning you.
What
Politics. No, politics is what it is.
But he knows very well. This guy, he's articulated himself. He's carried himself so well, he's not drowning in ODM.
The moment Sifuna will walk out of ODM,
He already walked out.
tell him to walk out.
He has already walked out.
He's still in ODM. Tell him to walk out. Tell him to walk out. 50%
You know what? Don't let.
disappears.
So if Sifuna is listening anywhere, don't listen to
He walks out of
anybody scaring
ODM.
you.
Luo Nyanza
Consolidate
walks
your
out.
base.
Mombasa walks out.
Consolidate.
Kisii walks out.
No. But you see, for me, I'm even shocked he's still there. He said very clear. Anyway, don't listen to these naysayers. Like, honestly, it's a different
And there are
Kenya.
many.
It's a very different
I like
Kenya.
what Natembea advised him.
No, even
the
I've
other
advised,
day.
I'm advising
Natembea
him.
told him, you can't go to your friend's party with a borrowed suit.
You can't.
You know, you can't go to your friend's party with a borrowed suit.
You will
need to
never.
own
Like,
your own suit.
You
For
know,
Sifuna, he
like,
needs to own the moment, and he also needs to define the way forward for himself.
But this thing just happened last week. He was thrown out last week.
Give him a
What do you
month.
want from Sifuna?
No, after a month,
He already has given you the
momentum
optics.
would have gone down.
No, it would not
No.
have gone
It
down.
will have.
Now
It's a
he's-
moment.
No, listen.
He's
I
working.
stand
He's at
here
work.
as somebody who is Sifuna, and is the only
As
reason
someone
I'm
who is
actually
Sifuna.
again going to vote.
But
No, let me tell you, Sifuna is the only reason. You know me, I'd given up on this Kenyan politics completely. He's the only reason I'm going to wake up and go to vote again.
Dr. C, we can bet that
Matiang'i.
at the end of the day,
No,
Sifuna
I'm not
will-
changing.
will
I'll only
join with the
change.
united opposition. We can bet that.
Wherever Sifuna is,
So if
You'll
I'm
have
they,
to-
there.
if they join United Opposition, they'll put Matiang'i as president, right?
I don't know if it's Matiang'i or who, because they are yet to agree on
But
the
in
formula
your heart,
that they
you
want.
must have your favorite.
Yes, you must have your favorite.
You want my favorite?
Yes.
Wajakoya.
Let's move to
Wajakoya.
Yes.
You want us to raise names?
This one.
Nah.
Let's move to the next one.
Anyway, great. So moving on from politics, we are moving to another conversation that has had actually Kenyans really shocked. It's about a young boy, really young boy, who collapsed and died in a school in Nakuru, Moi School, and on 23rd of February. So apparently a teacher was reprimanding them after they had done something wrong. And this young boy apparently was very, very scared, and he dropped down. Within few minutes, they took him to the hospital and he died. So I want us to have a conversation whether this was an institutional failure, a failure of the school, or was it a medical event? Because when I saw this with my bit of medical knowledge that I have, I said, this boy may have been having some congenital problem that maybe the parents were not aware. Because how, if he was so scared, maybe he stopped breathing and he just collapsed and passed on. And whether or not, whatever the cause of death, there was a post-mortem that revealed that there was a circulatory problem, which actually backs, even before the post-mortem, I thought there must have been some congenital something that we may not have known. Anyway, no one really knows what happened. But, you know, when we see the parents carrying the casket to school and being met by the policemen at the gate, so the question is, I think even our conversation should move from whether this is a medical event to what is this, everything that we've seen, what can we conclude about institutions? Do parents still trust institutions in schools? And do they still trust that their children are safe? And what should we do? What should the ministry do? CEO, you know, I like to start with you because I usually hog your time.
No, I find it very weird that there was a problem because safety in schools is a big problem everywhere you go. And the only problem, there's no negligence there. My issue is that maybe the parents should have been informed earlier. And that's their beef. Their beef is that we were not informed in time. They should have been informed real time that this kid has collapsed. We are rushing him to hospital. But if you take him to hospital first, then they come and meet with him already dead, then there's a shock effect. The biggest problem with our African or Kenyan schools is that we do not have proper medical care around those schools, or even nursing or something to resuscitate kids. Most of the public schools don't even have matrons in primary schools, someone who can check and to see when there's an emergency. So the biggest problem is to sort, as a country, we need to ask ourselves, do we need to have proper medical facilities around our schools? Because many kids, there's a lot of congestion, there's a lot of teachers who do not understand anything medical. For example, when he dropped down, what did they do? Most of the teachers will say, wacha kujifanya. You know the way teachers react to kids. Stop, unajifanya, unaanguka nini wewe mtoto, what's your problem? So you'll find that there's around 10-15 minutes where the teacher thought this kid was probably joking or was just pretending. The African way, we just say, I've done to you. So we need to look at how teachers would be more equipped and schools be more equipped with medical facilities which would help them.
Can I say something on that before you guys? I think so that, you know, the law is clear. And I think we're just not enforcing. So I'll tell you something, just moving a bit from school as an event planner. The law is so clear now, and you get all these city council people actually coming to police that if you're having an event, you're having a certain number of people, you need to have an ambulance because anything can happen. And therefore, it just seems like a no-brainer that the parents, the PTA, so if there was no medical anything in that school, it's a failure also on the Parents Teachers Association. It's not just the school alone. Because how do you let your child go to a school where if there is an emergency, there's no one to actually attend to this school? So I think so to the medical condition. I think so that it's not just the school. I think so that parents also, even they have to take responsibility. Have you been checking whether there's a nurse at the school? Do they know what they are doing in this school? I think these are the questions we also need to ask.
I will say one thing. This is not the first incident. I hope you guys remember a few years ago there was a girl called Ebi Noel who died in school too. And one thing that I learned from that story is also the fact that the schools sometimes, you've seen your student is gone, you panic. The report giving is one thing that can make a parent actually put blame on you in the first place. Because how do you, like the way they report these things. And I feel like you've said that a school should have the accurate emergency response. And I would say this, with the amount of school fees parents pay, I'm sure they can afford a well-paid medical practitioner who will actually be able to be there, access, know, quick response, even reporting at the same time. Because most of the time you'll find that you will come, cause chaos in the school, my child died in the school is the problem, but it's because however the school reported or the fact that the school delayed because they don't know. I went and did teaching. I know physics and chemistry. I don't know how to do basic first aid because that is not something that we have routinely been trained, like routinely to check this is not okay.
You're a trained teacher.
No, I'm not. I wish I was. Also, another thing is, there's another thing that I've realized. There are things that schools take for granted. For example, basic first aid. Also, children's reports. This is a child has been admitted to my school. What conditions can this child be going through? And parents, please be serious to state very, very in details, because there's also this that I don't want to eat githeri, I have ulcers, so write for me the report so that I can go and lie and eat rice. Just have detailed medical report of your child in school so that they might know that this is not a case of we hit you, you fainted, you're dead, and yeah, there's also that. So I feel like the aspect of the school, most of the time the school panics. And in the process of panics, you give the parent this notion of, why didn't you tell me? What was the problem? Why am I not getting the clear answers? If you want the parent to get the clear answers, have the right emergency response, first of all. Second, have the right way of reporting, and always have a qualified doctor to actually be, because I know schools can afford this. And the PTAs, when you sit there to talk about academic performance, accidents happen. Situations just come in. And if you did not discuss this beforehand, you never know whose child is next. So I think it's time schools style up and get a way to access this situation easier for even us to avoid the scandals of seeing coffins in schools.
So what you have said is that one of the things that I've picked out and that needs to come out so clearly is the communications protocols. In case of an accident, they need to document them, and they need to know that what happens after. If this happens, what will we do next?
Yes.
I think schools need to restore trust. Yes. They need to have a communications protocol. Yeah.
And that's what is lacking most in most schools.
Okay.
I don't know. Having an institution whereby this large number of people are gathered, as you said, Dr. C, there's need of having medical facility that is well run by a professional. In some institutions which many parents pay a little bit higher, we have residence nurses. You know, they're just there, just in case of such situations. And for this incident, it's so unfortunate in the manner of how the whole thing was handled. You know, it was executed in on public gallery. The parents coming with the body, the police chasing them, and the whole spectacle happening, and people just discussing it. And there's a parent here who's hurting, you know, because of a dose of their kid. At the same time, we are not looking at all that. We are not looking at how these schools prepare themselves in such scenarios. We are not even looking at the students themselves who've been affected. You know, they've just lost one of their own. And psychologically, it's something that will cause a trauma. And these are some of the things we really need to look at very carefully. In terms of communications, as you said, I mean, I can't add more towards that. Yeah.
But I want to say something else also, is that so many things, strange things have been happening in schools, in Kenyan schools, that I think we are witnessing a situation where parents have lost trust in the schools. In the school system, they have lost trust that the schools, some of the public schools, that they can actually look after their children. And immediately something happens, you can see that what you're talking about, Toyai, what you're talking about, that public display of grief, willing the child back. And this is an area where if they had developed a communications protocol, somebody should have been there to actually explain and give a good PR, rather than having the police. Yes, the school may have feared that these people may come in and actually burn down the school and all that, but it's actually to show that parents no longer trust the schooling system.
But how can you trust the schooling system if sometimes they misbehave? I have seen a school whereby kids have gone through food poisoning, and then instead of the school communicating, they lock the parents off the WhatsApp group. Like only admins can comment.
Can comment, yeah.
Yeah, so you've not explained to me where I'm in the hospital with my child admitted. Yes, I get it. Mistakes happen. Food poisoning can happen. But you've not told me. You've locked me off for the WhatsApp group. How do we trust such schools? You see, there are so many things that schools do wrong that actually we need to have protocols and communications, and we need to make them learn and understand. These are people's children. We don't want to come crying to you. We need to know our children are safe in your hands.
But for that, Maria, I have got to blame the Parents Teachers Association. If the Parents Teachers Association is strong, we will prevent a lot of these things. You want to say something?
No, I just wanted to say that many schools do not have facilities. Many teachers are also handicapped.
Yes.
It's government's position to make sure that these public schools are properly equipped. The government should make sure that the classes, the windows, the aerations, because some kids are studying in places. And by the way, as a parent, forget the privileged parents who are sitting here.
Commenting on things they
on
don't know
things
anything
they don't
about.
understand.
Okay, this one I understand.
There are parents who are not privileged, whose kids are studying in shacks, in places when you see, you just start crying. So for them, they're just saying, you've seen that kid who was going to, in Lodwar, who was studying in the outside. Manu, you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
On the street light at night, do homework.
Oh no.
Because they don't have light in their home. But he loves school. When they're given homework,
What
he
is
goes to the town center and sits
What's
down
the MP doing?
and writes his homework and reads there. So people are suffering. Parents are also suffering. And some teachers are totally handicapped. It's our government's responsibility to make sure that these things work.
When you say government, you're making it sound so far.
yes.
2027 in Akuja. Who are you going to be voting for?
That MP.
Yes.
That MP who
Fire your
there is no
MP.
light there. Fire your MP.
Let's go
fire
for break.
your
Fire.
Let's
Fire.
Let's
Guys, it's been real. Label Figura, the art of making an impression.
Let's take a short break. We'll be right back on Let's Be Real. Welcome back to the show. I hope you are having a great time like we all are. On the first part of the show, it was heated and at the same time a learning curve. Now we are still on parenting, by the way. So right now we are going to talk about Wafula Buke. Yes, at what point has the child become too much? Or at what point do you feel like afunzwe na ulimwengu, if I may say that, because I think jail is ulimwengu in real sense. Yeah. So at what point do you get to that? Because Wafula Buke said that the term that the son was given was not enough. Like he would have opted, 7 years rehabilitation would have worked better than 4 years rehabilitation. I think he must know his child so much to know that the exact time it takes to change him. And my question is, wouldn't he have used these 7 years initially to change him, or is he doing the right thing by doing that? Or is he actually exaggerating the punishment of the child? I'll start with you, Emmanuel. You look like you want to tell me something.
Yeah, this is such a case that for parents, especially younger parents, you'll be wondering, why would you want to get your kid to jail? Not just the shortest time possible, as you'd want, but the longest time possible. But for Wafula, he must have known something that he feels that he couldn't do, he could not help him, and the only source of help will be getting this young man to cool his heels by being the guest of the estates. Several years down there, he'll be able to rethink a little bit about his life. In terms of disciplinary, there's a way that place changes you. No, the only worst thing is that this young man might come out worse than how he went in. Because remember, that is where we have all the professors of crime and all things that you might not want to be associated with. So either the guy get reformed or he comes out worse. The only thing is that for parents, how are we able to now outsource our problem to such institutions whereby we feel that we are helpless and we can't do anything around it? But given that the guy is over 18, let him learn. Atafunzwa na ulimwengu pole pole. Yeah.
So we are talking about a case where this Wafula says that his child has become unruly, and he wants to delegate that to the state. I think I understand what he's saying, and I want to back him, because sometimes children can become really overwhelming. Sometimes they get into drugs, they get into the wrong group, they are really on the wrong side. And we've seen cases all over the world, and Kenya is not excluded, where children actually end up killing even the parents. The life of the parents themselves are in danger, and there are danger to the society. And so they need to be corrected. We used to have correctional facilities. So I wouldn't really say jail. In Kenya, we do have, they used to be called approved schools. What they called approved schools. Yeah. They are supposed to be correctional facilities. I don't know how well equipped, if we still have, and how well equipped they are. And in the developed world, these kind of facilities, they are what you would call rehabilitation institutions, where some people who can afford, they can go to these really nice places that are privately run, and they can be rehabilitated. And sometimes we have those state-sponsored rehabilitation schools. And when you look at the statistics, I had time to check the statistics coming out of the US and even Europe, is the fact that when the children come out, when these young people, because you're a child, up to below age 28, honestly, you're still a child and you still need to be supported. Even though legally after age 18, you're supposed to be an adult, look after yourself. But the statistics are that 80% usually reform. And some institutions have even recorded 100% they are able to be reintegrated into the society, and they change their ways. Because half the time, these children just get into the wrong group, or they just get discouraged, or it could be a case of mental health situation. So you're taken in this place that you have highly specialized and trained people who can look after them. And yes, there's sense of discipline they instill in them. It's almost like a military sense of discipline. So I think what Wafula was referring to were those approved schools that I used to hear about. And but what I can say from the little that I know is that actually some of the young people who end up going into, like if you send them into jail, the life there is so rough. It's so rough that when they come out, they become really bad. So we cannot send them to jail. That is not the place for them. When they come out, they are like, they cannot, almost not integrate. And I saw there was a young man, I used to know him really as a boy in my village. And I remember going, it was, I think, Christmas holidays, they would paint, I don't know, he just fell in the wrong hands. And I remember paying a lawyer to represent him and all that. He went to jail, he was taken to a different jail, and when he came out, he became a full criminal. I think he was shot somewhere. So it's a case that I really know that when he came out, he was even worse. So what we need to be advocating for are correctional facilities that are equipped to train young people to get back into the society, not jail.
For me, I would say, by the virtue that he called it rehabilitation, and it's criminal college, that is not. But let me start by saying this. First of all, he says that his character could have been influenced by the fact that he was raised by a single parent. Yes, I get it. It's too late. He's over 18 now. There's nothing we can do. The early years where we would do the discipline, he was not there. That I get. But at the same time, I'm looking at it this way. If I support him, I would say maybe the only reason why I would have thought you would do that is you are saving him from mob justice that was about to happen. Because you see, any parent would not love to lose their kid. They are bad criminals. Any day you can be called he was killed in the streets. Maybe that's why you are doing that. But I don't think as a parent you advocating for longer term and saying things like 7 years is what you would have used that would have been good and not the 4 years. I think you are supposed to even actually advocate for a shorter time, because you're telling yourself, I just needed him to learn a lesson, not I needed him to stay there for rehabilitation. Because everyone knows that jail is not a place to rehabilitate people. I have seen cases whereby once you come out of jail, you are now an ex-convict. It's different from before you go to jail. So regardless, by the virtue that is even a big name out there, this child is going to come out with a record of I was in jail. So that's another thing that has been added to his life. So is it really saving his life, or is it making his life even more difficult than it was before he left? And I get it. He could have been, there's nothing I can do. I can't control you anymore. You would have done the worst if you did not go to jail. I understand all that. But at the same time, I'm looking at it from the side of his life could have been totally ruined. He's 18 now by just this one decision. And worse, the statement the father made. I wish it was just quiet. I'm trying to teach my son a lesson. Let me be quiet. I'm not going to say such things because I know, in the first place, I'm a respectable public figure. Anything
That's
I
for
say,
people.
It's for people, yes, but
for
don't
people,
say anything.
respectable.
Keep quiet. Just
But
let your son go to jail, let him rehabilitate there, but don't bring it to the public because you know who you are. And at the same time, already this child's
How many
life is
children
ruined.
does he have?
So,
Okay, he's Wafula Buke could be having 40.
so I think jail, first of all, let me start. Jail is made for men. Number one. Jail is made for people, not for animals.
Testosterone. Oh, you
Jail.
meant testosterone
men,
or...
Yeah, for people.
For human
for
beings.
criminals.
For criminals.
Jail is made for anyone who's committed crime. So
Yeah.
jail are there. Let's
After age 18.
listen, we will not sugarcoat things.
Yes.
Jail is made for people, not for animals. Animals don't go to jail.
Yes.
It's human beings. And if you commit a crime, you must suffer. And the suffering is jail sentence, isn't it? As a father, and I understand Wafula Buke, Sonu 87 chair, a man who has really fought for this country. I have a neighbor who lost his only son And we always say if that boy would have been jailed, that mother would have had his kid today. Because parents know their children. Let me tell you. You know your son, Maria. I know my kids. No one in the right senses would wake and say, my boy deserves 7 years if he doesn't know him. Let me tell you. It's about emotion, and people are very emotional about their kids. You wake up here, you go to your kid's school, you know you are saving your kid from a certain death.
Yes.
You are saving this son from certain death. You have seen this one. Hata hii mwaka hatamaliza hapa nje. I'd rather take him for 7 years, pack him there. So Wafula Buke knows something we do not know about his son.
Yes.
He's addressing a problem he's lived with. He's not addressing aesthetics. Parents, you must learn your kids. And if you see a parent standing up and saying, my son was jailed for 4 years, I wish he was given 7 so that he can be rehabilitated. He's seen his mental capability, looked at him and said, this one akipelekwa jela, akule hiyo maisha ngumu. The man who is saying like this is not a man who has not been jailed. Remember, Wafula Buke went to jail after he came from Libya when they were being trained with Muammar Gaddafi, after they were fighting for the second liberation of this country. He stayed in jail. So he understands jail.
Fears.
I mean,
Yeah, he's
you'd rather have...
He's already faced his fears, so that's why he feels like, if you go to jail, it's okay, because I've been there and I came out fine.
You'd rather have your son in jail
Than
6 feet under.
In Eastlands, in Nairobi today, in Kibra, I was in the gym I go to. There's a guy who works in the army who's telling me all his age mates are dead. He's the only one. And they were in school together, 200 kids. All of them have been shot dead, all of them. Being a young man and you're in crime, these young men, only a few of them reach 20 years. They are shot in this city. Others are shot in the villages because of crime. So as a parent, my neighbor's son went to Kibra, picked a phone. The only son was mob justiced to death. And that weekend, he had been released from Langata prison, Langata holding cell.
Yeah.
So the OCS of Langata was saying, I wish I had even would have held him over the weekend. He would have not died. The woman lost his only kid because of a very stupid thing, stealing a Katululu phone of 1,000.
Yeah.
So when a parent stands up today and tells you, put my son in, he knows jails are bad, he knows he can become more rough, but he wants to save his skin.
Yeah. So actually what we then need to be working on are rehabilitation facilities for the younger.
Better.
The younger, you know, some parents actually know, and before they are caught up in a crime, there's so many parents who are struggling with, like they don't know what to do. This child has gone beyond what you as a parent can actually do. And that something in between home, rehabilitation, jail. There has to be that stopgap measure where those kind of schools that are run like military schools. I remember during the Moi time, you remember NYS? So Moi decided during President Moi, may his soul rest in peace, before he said, these university kids, they are really having hard heads. So he made all of us go to paramilitary training. I've been through a paramilitary training, yeah, before you go to the university, to soften your head, to go through military training. And let me tell you, it is military training. You wake up at 5, you do, like your life is so regimented and disciplined by the time you come out. And it was everybody before you join the university. So we need something in between jail and home for these at-risk children.
Also, by the time the father comes and say, now that you're 18, you can be jailed, there has to be at some point whereby they were 15, 16, and they were problems.
Let me tell you
so
this.
their rehabilitation centers can actually accommodate these teenagers that are way beyond. Like you see, because they are committing crimes before they are 18. At 18, you're saying they are going to jail. But before 18, you can actually shape them in a rehabilitation center then and then, before they even get to adulthood, where by now the crime is mob justice, shooting, or even jail.
Let me tell you the people we've saved. My good friend Daddy Owen.
Look at him now.
Look
a
at
very
him now.
responsible
Let me tell you,
man.
my good friend Daddy Owen, one day we
Responsible
were
is
seated
questionable,
at
but yes.
Afia Center, and I always tell this story. I, Big Ted, Big Kev, the late, may his soul is
Why
little
are you
Dera,
not a musician?
and we were chilling and Rafton.
Big Ted.
And who was, Daddy Owen had left, he was part of Umoja Renegades. Umoja Renegades were these boys from Umoja who were very notorious in snatching phones.
Huh? He was
So-
part of Renegade.
Yes. So he had left. What did he? He left Carnival and came. So as we were waiting, then 30 minutes later we are told, Rafton is told, your brother is being killed. He was being mob justice at KPCU Plaza outside there.
I'm
There's a
talking about
toilet.
the Owen. Oh my
I'm telling
God.
you. So I'm telling you why we talk about these things.
Yeah.
And what happens? We rush there, all of us. We tell them we know him, he's our nini, nini, nini. The public they were almost bringing a tire to burn him.
Burn him.
If you see his one eye, that's why they dunged his one eye.
Oh my God.
So let me tell you, when you guys talk from the comfort of what you've not seen, as we've seen these things,
Yeah.
so we saved him. He became a better person. Daddy Owen is one of the most iconic singers in this country. I was there. There's a guy who runs this country today who came to see me in the Standard newsroom with approved papers. He's one of the biggest guys today for change. He has reformed. I will not mention him. I'm the first one who gave him a photography job in Standard Group from approved.
Approved schools. So approved schools still exist.
Yes.
Can you shed more light on where they are and how parents
We
can
actually need to know those approved schools.
Yeah.
There are many, Kabete approved school is here. There are many schools in Nairobi.
and how they are run.
They are run professionally by government. So the schools are there. So people suffer. When I see a parent waking up today to say my kid has to go to jail, trust him, he knows what he's
Back
talking
to
about.
approved schools. So can somebody just walk in with their child that please look at this child, or it has to be a court recommendation?
It's a court recommendation.
It's a court recommend. Can me as a parent go to the court and say this child is becoming a nuisance?
No,
Can
if
I
he's
put him
arrested
inside?
and is under 18 and he's committed felony, he'll be taken to approved
So
school.
they have to be committed to be arrested
Yes,
as under 18s
yes,
first.
yeah.
But I think that's also not right. We need to have a way whereby me as a parent, like Wafula Buke knew the child, I know my
But the
child.
child, Wafula's son is 23.
But if my child
He's
never
still
gets
young.
caught,
He's still young.
I'm saying if my child never gets caught and they are young, I'm saying now I have a 16-year-old who has never been caught and I know that child is not good. Can't I just take my child to that approved school myself? Like, hi, go to court. This child, if you don't take him to that school, you are going to take him to jail in the next 2 years. So help me. I can go cry as a parent, right?
What about
I think that should be the way
the
out.
children's officers, you need to also go through them. They recommend the same. Because you can't just go to court and say that my kid amenishinda.
You
have to go.
can.
It's a
because people will
process.
just delegate their
It's a
children.
process.
Do you know there are kids who threaten their parents?
Yes.
That's what we are talking
They are
about.
threatened
Those-
their
those,
parents.
Those
kids,
kinds.
those kids, they need to go to those special institutions.
And that's why I need
Now,
to go report.
For a grown-up, there's no way about it. You need to go to jail.
You know, Manu, what you,
You know
don't
what to say?
understand.
Jela kunasemekanaga wanarekebisha na haki. That's their tagline actually.
You know what, Manu, you don't
Kurekebisha na haki.
Yes. And ukipelekwa jela,
By the way, not
you
all
are
jails
there
are
to
bad.
reform.
Yeah,
You
next.
see, you are there to reform, basically. If you don't want to reform, the consequences are also there. You go out,
You die.
you die.
But you see, I don't want my child to die. That's why I'm trying to
you
get my
see,
child committed.
If your kid already has that criminal mind and has decided this is the pathway that I'm taking, you won't change that.
I'll just wait
Believe
for them
me.
to go to jail or die.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, can you please stop saying that?
And move to the next
Move to
topic.
Move to the
next
next topic.
Now, for the next topic, there is this foreigner, the Russian guy who came around and he caused mayhem, especially within our women and our girls. So this guy apparently was in around Risambu there, TRM. He went to Mombasa. The funniest thing, he was just fishing them easily. Yeah? And not just fishing them easily. He will take them to his place. He was recording them. He even actually went to a church, you know. Picked a girl there, took her to his place. They even had one lady doing the Burukanga challenge. Do you know the Burukanga challenge?
Brukanga.
Yes, Burukanga. I think.
Which one is that?
Which one is
Burukanga.
that?
You have to do
You
like
have-
this.
yeah, you
if
have to
if you
jump
have these
and
things,
show and
it
jump.
has to go up there. You have to jump up.
Yes.
Brukanga.
Oh, sorry. Let's
Maziwa ya watoto kidogo rukisha.
I think I'll be jumping the whole body.
Nah,
Not me looking if I can do that and they are not moving and I have them.
yes.
Man,
So,
I'm moving my stomach.
This guy has been doing that, and you know he didn't do that in Kenya only. He was even in Ghana.
Yeah.
He recorded women, and you know this brought the point of vulnerability versus consent. Because the ladies are saying, yes, we agreed to go with you, but I didn't consent to being recorded. But again, so long as you agreed to a foreigner, and you know, this guy is somebody who doesn't even speak a lot of English. He was like, hi, come with me, and they'll just follow him.
But he was using scopolamine because scopolamine, for the viewers, and let me not just assume everybody knows. You know, you've heard of, you meet someone in town, the next thing you don't remember what happened, but you're so compliant, and actually you go home, you have not, and how I actually came to know about scopolamine,
We
one
call them
person.
stupefiers.
Yes, you go, even go remove all your jewelry, give them your credit cards. You even go to the bank, withdraw money. You're just compliant. Yeah. So apparently, according to some of the ways these women actually are describing, is that they don't remember anything. They just remember they were just compliant. And they went. So there could be allegations of that.
Okay.
So for me, I want us to reframe this conversation, okay? Because otherwise we will just deteriorate. Reframe it through the eyes of, is this a criminal thing or are we talking about morality? You see, I've seen a lot of Kenyans talking
We're talking about
moral
both.
things.
We're talking about both.
It's a criminal
What's,
thing.
yeah, so we need to, so you want us to discuss.
People can talk about criminal. Me, I'll talk about morality.
I want to talk about, I want to talk about the criminality
Maybe
of
morality
this.
ndio
There's,
shida yangu.
there's allegations of this guy was actually using this chemical, scopolamine. And number two, this is criminal. It doesn't matter. In fact, it's a human rights criminal. Yeah, it's a human rights criminal because crime. He has to be arraigned in The Hague, or The Hague only accepts politicians, because how can you publicly, just go take people's photos? Yes, people may have consented. These are adults. You can consent to as many people as you wish. I'm not here to tell people, women, how to use their bodies. It's their bodies, and everybody knows, depending on your morality standard, is different. But I think so that in this case, Russia needs to make an exemption. They need to allow for the extradition of this guy to another country, to be brought back to face the wrath of the law. And I call all Kenyan women, not all the Kenyans, of good, peace-loving Kenyans, to turn up at the airport and stone this guy.
There's one thing I will say
Literally.
first. There's one thing I will say first. Dear Kenyans, if he's wearing glasses, you see the way ID is very important. If he has glasses on his eyes, even before you say hi, remove your glasses. That's the first thing that I would say, because I know most of these women did not know that those glasses were actually camera.
They are recording.
Yeah, they did not know that these glasses were recording. So please, now that technology has decided to outsmart people, let's try and outsmart it. Take off the glasses. I need to see
Don't
your
talk
eyes.
to anyone in glasses.
Yes,
Lesson
don't talk to
number
anyone
one.
in glasses. No matter how hard the sun is, let's look for a shade before I can open my mouth. That is the first thing you can do.
Okay.
The other thing is this. No matter what happened, I can consent to do. Let me be honest with you. It's not a crime for women to just have fun. It's not a crime. It's not a crime for a girl to decide, okay, let me see what our understand feels like. It's not a crime.
Do you think a black
Let
man
me
would have
finish.
been able to just tell them, come? with
Let me
me,"
finish.
And they just follow
No,
him?
let me first finish. It's not a crime. But it's a crime when I have consented. We are two adults. I have agreed that you record me without me agreeing to that. If I agreed to do this big thing, why is it that a problem that because why didn't you ask me for me to agree to do the second thing? You should have asked me. by the way, you've agreed to do this. Can I record for my own fantasies or something? But he did not ask, so that's a crime. And if he gets away with it, it will make us, women, not get our justice. Because at the same time, let's be honest, it does not, men sleep, a man can go to a club and get out of there an unvirgin. Okay, let me not say that, that's not big, that's big. A man will go out there, get into a club, and come out having slept with 1 or 2 women, and then go home as if it's nothing.
Okay.
Good. Because why? Because you guys can do it. Now because it's a woman, you're saying women of Kenya, but they never call a woman loose. Before we agree to, and most of them were dragged. It's not about the skin color.
How sure are you that they were
It's
dragged?
not about the skin
Because
color.
of
How
the,
sure are you that they were dragged?
Because of the way they are narrating their
yes.
stories. But you have
Nah.
asked an important question
Nah,
that I need
really.
to answer. Would, if it was a black man, a Kenyan guy, black kama mimi hivi,
Yes.
would they have agreed?
Not really.
No, you have asked and I need to answer you. So for me, when I saw this, number one, there's this thing about strangers and all that. And I want to compare their behavior to all those women and all those young men who know exactly going to Saudi Arabia, kuna shida. Going to Cambodia, kuna shida. Going to Russia, you'll end up being, and they still go.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's a lot of desperation out there. We don't know what people's circumstances are. And we're not going to sit here and start judging. So I wouldn't say that. So if you are the black guy who represented that you're going to move them from this point to that point, then maybe they would have said yes. So for this guy, the marker, the physical marker was, oh, he's white. Atanipeleka huko Ulaya. Europe, what I mean,
Akona
Europe, yeah,
pesa.
atanipeleka huko, atanitoa hapa. So if you want to argue on a race thing, you can only assume is that these women were in such circumstances, because I don't know of any one of them who just went there purely for gymnastics
By there, there's no
and
one.
the love of it.
So they went there for what?
I think they thought
They
this
thought
is
because
it. This is it.
Because of the color
Nimefikiwa.
of the skin, the
So
dollars
you're
will
coming
come
back
out.
to
Yeah,
my point.
nimefikiwa.
You're
That's
coming
what they
back to my
thought.
point.
What
Even
was
you,
your
if you're
point?
black and you have
What
money,
was
we
your
will
point?
come.
Ladies and
Not
gentlemen,
really.
If you are black and you have money, CEO, we will come, all of us.
let me tell you,
Just show us the
I will
bottom
not
line.
sit here and condone bad behavior. I cannot sit here and cheer immorality. I will not. From where I sit, the Kenyan girls and the Ghanaian girls showed us what they are made of
They are true colors.
and their true colors. And now we know that our morality is next to zero. There's a lady there who was driving her husband's car at night to go to the Russian, a married woman. What are you going to do at night? You are going to drive your husband's car to the night and you're telling us that you didn't know.
Absent
There's a neighbor
husband.
who opened the door and started jumping and saying, I was left, and the husband, the other one who chased even the sisters from the house. What it shows is that these girls are desperate. I mean, they are low quality morals. And we will not sit here and tell them, oh, Kenyan girls, Kenyan girls. If you went to the Russian, let me tell you, you are the lowest of the low. Because you did not even question. The guy asked you 2 questions. Hi, I'm Russian. What's your name? Come to my house.
Yes.
You are dragged. That's not normal, CEO.
No,
And
that
you
was
left your kids with the neighbors. And some of you did what you did.
There's dragging.
I mean, no.
involved. Ati, hi, I'm Russian. What's
How
your
many?
name?
There's
You
this
know,
lady.
he has not shown us how many actually said
Said
no.
no. Yes.
We want
The
to
others
study
who
the
said
statistics.
no.
Study the
The
statistics.
ones
We
who
want to see
said
the
no,
statistics.
we show.
Yes.
And there are Kenyan girls who said no. And you could see them. And the question was, why are you inviting me? Can I see you? Why can't you
No.
go to a restaurant? A normal human being, the first date, and a woman, you've been told, the first date is in a neutral place. That's what your fathers, your mothers drum in your ears.
And
That-
even I've said it on this show.
Yeah, the first date,
Should be an
you
place.
cannot be taken to a date by a man you've met on the street and you go to the house.
Lesson
What
number
if
one.
he's a chef?
It doesn't
That's
allow.
a lesson number one.
It's if you go to the and anything happens to you or you are killed. That's why I'm saying this is the issue of moral is here. Ask him, why can't you go to the restaurant? Java is there in TRM. Why can't we sit and get to know you? What did you come to do? So what are you doing? Why did you pick me? They are questions. They are fundamental questions a human being asks if you are interested. You cannot follow someone like a goat.
And
To the
that
slaughter.
explains
See,
why there's been so many young women
Being killed.
being killed because of these. Even last year, on this show, we've discussed so many times. So I don't think even this guy was just being followed because he's Russian. His case is so different because he was recording. There are so many.
Yeah. Even
Nigerians,
blacks that are followed,
The Nigerian
Nigerians, all
boys
those
who
people.
are misusing our girls.
It's just that they're
That's
not
what they do.
recording.
But no, this lady, one of those ladies, she came out, she confessed, yeah, I was part of this whole thing, and she took a HIV test.
And what they did show the results.
Yes. Now, I found it a little bit daft, if I may use that word, because medically speaking, it takes 3 months.
Yeah, to
Yeah, for those viruses to be seen, you know, when you get tested. So telling us that you went there and you were safe, and knowing that in this era that people can have low viral loads, you know, and you're still accepting. And now, shamelessly, you're coming, recording yourself, telling us that you didn't contract this disease. I mean, look at our ladies.
Did you see the results?
They didn't show that.
They didn't show, so we cannot conclude anything.
Now, after that, they would started following these bloggers to tell their own version of the story, which was more of damage control at the end of the day. Because, I mean, how would you define somebody being, especially a church usher? Yeah? She didn't even change her clothes, you know. Immediately after service, she followed the Russian. What does it tell us
And
about
we
our
didn't go
morals?
for a date in a hotel.
Anyway, the
Doctors, you
lesson.
tell girls to go to a date first.
So, yes. So
Eat
this-
someone's money at least.
This is what I want to say. This is what I want to say.
You're given
Lesson number
water.
1. Skin color, accent, Nigerian or whatever, it does, or a different passport, doesn't guarantee anything. This world is, in fact, Kenya is a very good place. So go for a date first. 3, 4, 5 dates, 6. Yeah? Check someone's HIV status. Use protection if you have to. Yeah? And number 4, like we should have been number 1, work hard and make your own money. Just make your own money. It's the ultimate freedom. No man is just going to come and pick you up, and even if you're going to be a princess, you're going to work for it.
Let's go to Fashion Week.
Yes. And on La Belle Figura, the art of making an impression. I just came back from Milan to the Fashion Week. It was such a learning lesson. Italy. Number 1, every time I go to Italy, and the reason why I want to talk about this is because there are so many people, the tourists outweigh the Italians themselves. But what always fascinates me is, what can we do as a country on a tourism level? Because many times I've gone and I've always been like a guest of the state, not in those correctional, but you know, this time I was part of a buying delegation to go look at what they have, the collections they have, you recommend, and also you buy. And which got me really thinking about Kenya, because we are always selling Masai Mara, and yeah, I know Aisha Speed came, but this is a government that has gone out of his own way. I saw not just a delegation from Kenya, there was a delegation from South Africa who are there to actually look at the collections from these Italian designers. It's one of the things they actually sell. Italians and fashion, all these big fashion houses are actually Italians all over the world. And when you just see the work they put in, so you find all these delegations arriving, the fashion shows, and oh my goodness. And once they're there, this is an event, a business event. A lot of the other ladies actually extended their trip. They went to Lake Como. We were eating out, doing all sorts of things, the wines, the cheese, all that, going to see all the monuments included. So I'm just like, you know, as a country, I think so that Kenya needs to stop just focusing alone on just the physical attributes we have, but actually create opportunities where people, even you can turn a whole business conference or a business event to a tourism thing. And we cannot do it alone. Like, for example, I've been organizing the wedding fair in this country for the last more than 20 years. I would like to see a whole delegation coming into Kenya paid for. I can't afford to bring them, but the government can actually step in and actually bring these people, come to Kenya here and buy from Kenyans. So that was the main learning lesson, that we can actually create. There were thousands and thousands of people who just arrived in Milan alone. But outside of that, there was the Olympics, the Winter Olympics that was going on. There is the Cosmoprof, which is a big beauty expo that happens. There's a wine, something that happens, and there's delegations of people arriving. So Kenyans, we have a lot to learn. Traveling is opening your eyes. And with that, guys, la belle figura, let's learn to make an impression as Kenyans. The art of it.
Okay, let's end the show.
Good night. It's been real.